previous videos, we looked at how we can create a package and dive deeper into revenue analytics on a package level. In this one, we will take a look at different number of APIs and how we can inspect the details related to monetization. If I head over to this widget, I can see that monetization of 13 APIs is happening currently. If I open it, I get a list of all the APIs currently monetized and the number of packages they belong to. One API can be a part of different packages, since APIwiz lets you package any API, whether it's fronted by gateway or not, or belongs to different gateway under single package. Here I can see the first API, which is get manufacturer details, is sharing 20% of the revenue. It is generating the most amount of revenue compared to the other APIs. This helps you to get a view of which are the most valuable APIs so that you can double down on its reliability, latency, and uptime. In order to go into the details, I can click on this one. First thing that I get is the breakup of total number of calls. How much of it is metered versus unmetered. As discussed in previous videos, a metering rule is defined for each API. Every time a transaction satisfies that metering call, it is considered as monetized. And for each satisfied metering rule, we have a rate card associated with it. Next, we have a revenue chart where I can see that from the 1st of this month to 21st, which is current date, I have generated this much amount of total revenue. And I also get the change in revenue on a daily basis. Since I have close to 0 metered calls in this one, this API is perfectly monetized, which means all the API calls going through this API are getting metered and charged to the consumer. Since I've clicked on a specific API, I get which API's dashboard I'm looking at and the month for which analytics are displayed. As we all know, there are multiple consumers for an API, and I also get how many consumers are using. I can see that for the entire month, there are consistently 5 consumers, but this revenue can increase if there's an increase in the number of consumers, which will also lead to increase in API calls. Or there can be consistent number of API consumers, but increase in total number of calls, which has led to the revenue, which is in this case. Next, we have the list of metering rules. For this specific API, there's only just one metering rule mentioned, which is a validation of response code. If the API has returned a valid response, then you have to meter it. That is the rule. And since it has gotten satisfied 100% of the time, all the revenue is generated to this. If you have multiple criteria, you can see different breakups here. You can have a certain amount of metering rule satisfied for number of calls. Since we have the number of consumers here, if I go to the consumer tab, I get the list of those consumers. This helps me to identify most valuable customers so that I can serve them better or reach out to them. Please note that this details is only for this one specific API and not for any specific package. We saw a similar view in previous video where the list of consumer was populated for a given package. In this case, these consumers are only accessing this specific API. I can click on this inspect and go to that consumer's profile. I have come to the consumer's profile where I can see to which partner do they belong, which company, how many APIs they are accessing, and what types of apps they have created to various APIs, because I have opened the consumer's details page. Now I can head back to the dashboard. Similarly, the same view you can get in the list of customers. In this one, we have 5 consumers, and again I can open the same where it leads to the detailed view for each customer. So this way you can either dive deeper on a package level, go through the list of APIs and inspect the consumption patterns and who is consuming it, or straight away go to the list of consumers and drill down into the detail. Now these 3 consumers belong to different companies, which is displayed here. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we will take a look at the overall dashboard for monetization audit and how we can manage different configs.